Amen.
It's incredible to be back in Pennsylvania, the proud home of American independence, the American Constitution, and American freedom. That's true, huh? What a history. And
Amen.
21 days from now, we're going to win the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
Amen.
and we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. This election is a simple choice. If Biden wins, China wins, all these other countries win, we get ripped off by everybody. If we win, you win, Pennsylvania wins, and America wins. Very simple.
Yes, very simple at that.
For years, the selfish and corrupt political class
Woman
betrayed the
for
people of
Trump, maga
Pennsylvania, and you know that,
maga.
with the people of our country. Career politicians like Joe Biden lied to you. I don't think he knew he was even lying. You want to know the truth? He's gone. He's shot, folks. I hate to tell you, he's shot. He abused you, he crushed you, your dreams, and outsourced your jobs to China and distant lands all over the world. As a Senator, Biden's last American trade policies were a total disaster. They dismantled your steel industry and decimated entire towns in your area. And we brought back steel. And we put tariffs on steel, and we stopped dumping steel and aluminum. As vice president, he closed down 10,000 factories while raking in cash from corporations that moved jobs overseas. And his family got rich. You know that. How did Hunter make $3.5 million from the mayor of Russia, mayor of Moscow's wife? How did that happen? So you have the mayor of Moscow, got a wife, gave Hunter $3.5 million. I wonder what he did for that money, huh? The fake news, they refuse to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. Biden's a servant of the radical globalists. The 2016 Pennsylvania voters to fire this failed and decrepit political establishment, and you elected to find Biden has made a corrupt bargain in exchange for his party's nomination. He has handed control to the socialists and Marxists and left-wing extremists like his vice presidential candidate. That's another great one, isn't it? I just watched her on television coming in, because the great thing about Air Force One, we have more televisions. They're in closets. They're all over the place. They're on the floors, on the ceilings. And I watched her, and I compared her to Amy, great future Supreme Court Justice.
Hey,
And
feel
I will
that
tell
seat.
you, Amy's made a great impression.
Feel that seat. Feel that seat. Feel that seat.
And you know Biden, he can't stand up to the lunatics running his party. He can't even find his way off the stage without him. Look what's happened. Yesterday, he didn't know the name. He said, you know the guy, I think he's a Mormon, right? He said he's a Mormon. He was talking about Mitt Romney. He forgot Mitt Romney's name. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? Then he didn't know where he was. He said, where the hell am I? Where am I? No, he's shot, folks. He's shot. I'm running against the single worst candidate in the history of presidential politics. And you know what that does? That puts more pressure on me. Can you imagine if you lose to a guy like this?
Yeah, we are praying
Unbelievable.
for the
It's
victory.
disgusting. It's
The
disgraceful.
Lord will confuse
If he
their
wins,
mind.
the radical left will be running the country. He won't be running the country. The radical left will take over. And how about Pennsylvania? So he says there will be no fracking. No fracking. This went on for a year and a half. No fracking.
Go
No fracking,
ahead.
no fracking. Then Elizabeth Warren refused to get out. So they stole another one for Bernie. Bernie's the greatest loser of them all. This guy, every 4 years, they steal it. So she refused to get out. Pocahontas, she refused to get out. Right? They wanted me to apologize for saying the word Pocahontas. So, no, I apologize to Pocahontas, to the real one. No, you wouldn't get out, and she took enough votes away, and Biden won Super Tuesday. That shouldn't happen. But if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, fortunately, that's because I'm not a politician. I'm not a politician. But think of it, you talk about politicians, no fracking for a year and a half, right? And then he goes to Pennsylvania and says, no, there'll be fracking. Like nothing happened. Can you imagine if I did that? No fracking, no fracking, no fracking. I'm the opposite, by the way. No fracking, no fracking. Then you win and you go, got to go a little to the other direction, a little bit to the right, although he actually went further left, which is sort of an amazing thing. But all of a sudden he comes out in favor of fracking. And let me tell you, it's always the first thing that turns out to be true, okay? They will lose, you will lose in Pennsylvania 1 million jobs. There will be no petroleum products. There will be no fracking whatsoever. And did you see his party now is really angry at him because he's saying maybe there'll be fracking. It's a very conditional, it's a very weak. But with me, you're going to frack. You're going to frack. And you're going to keep your energy low, and we're independent. We are now energy independent, first time ever. So if I don't always play by the rules of the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you, and I fought harder for you than any president has ever fought for their people.
You are the best, Mr.
Right now,
President.
I'm fighting to eradicate the virus, rebuild the economy, and save our country from the radical left. And that's a big thing, saving it, because these people, this will end up being a large-scale version of Venezuela if they get in.
Yes.
They don't have water, they don't have medicine, they don't have food, they don't have anything. Despite everything they've thrown at us, we've done more in the first 3.5 years than any administration in history, and the best is yet to come. It's true. A recent Gallup poll just came out.
4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years. We are your children. 4 more years. We're praying for you.
A Gallup poll just came out that found that 56% of Americans say they're better off today than they were under Sleepy Joe and Obama.
Oh, Biden.
It's the highest of any president at this point in his term. Let's think of that, 56%. This is as we round the corner on the pandemic, 56%. They were much, much lower. Just remember this. If they were any good, I wouldn't have run for president. But they were no good. They did a horrible job. They did a horrible job. Yesterday, Biden told those 56% of Americans that they probably shouldn't vote for him. And for once, I agree with Joe. Did you hear he said, you shouldn't vote for me, He has no idea what he's saying. How the hell do you lose to a guy like this? Is this possible? Oh, I'll never come to Pennsylvania again. I love this place. They say he was born in Scranton, but he left. He left. He abandoned you. He didn't. Said, give me a break. Thank you. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, there's a lot of people here tonight. A lot of people. I wish the fake news would show it. They never turn the cameras on. I go home. Our great First Lady always says, how was the crowd? I said, didn't they show? No, they just show your face. And about 5 people behind me, right? They become famous. Why don't you show the crowd, though? Why don't you do yourself a favor? Show the crowd. Go ahead. One of the most important issues for Pennsylvania is the survival of your fracking industry. Joe Biden has repeatedly pledged to abolish fracking. He's a liar, okay? He's a liar. How do you do it? How do you do it? He went for a year and a half. They said, remember the debates with the radical left Democrats, right? You had Alfred E. Newman. You had all these people. You know who Alfred E. Newman is? Yes. Pete Buttigieg. He's a bad mayor of a failed town, and he's going to run for president. Pete is going to do right. That's right. Nobody, I swear. Nobody. Then he gets up. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And not one fake reporter back there said, well, wait a minute. You've been pledging for a year and a half no fracking. But then what about the health care for illegal immigrants? Who in this group is going to provide health care for illegal immigrants? Everybody raises their hand. You remember Joe? No, do you remember? This is a famous clip, but they don't ask him questions about it because eliminated. That's what he said. Those are the exact words. And then he said it 19 different times. And one day he said, I never said that. It's incredible. And they don't question him. I couldn't get away with it for a minute. Not for a minute. Did you see the town hall he had with NBC? That was a town hall for a child, a young child. Barron Trump, and actually Barron's far too advanced for that town hall. That was a town hall. Lester Holt. Lester Holt. That was a beauty, right? That was some town hall. That was, and they said, yes, we have a random sampling of people. Yeah, all Trump haters, right? What a group of people. But he raised his hand. He said, illegal immigrants will get health care. Now, people don't realize what that means. That means your Social Security goes down the tubes, your country goes bankrupt, you know, the whole thing is a disaster. But he raised his hand. Now he's trying to say he didn't do it, and they don't
Now
call
he
him
will
out
invite
because
all
they're
the
dead. His
illegal.
radical
My
left running
goodness.
mate, who I just watched on television, she is so pathetic, is a co-sponsor of the socialist Green New Deal, which eliminates all fossil fuels. She's having a hard time getting out of that one. Did you hear the other day she actually came out in favor of fracking? It was like, yeah, I think so. She's further left than Bernie. Did you see Bernie? I thought was the furthest left in the Senate, because you don't get too much worse, right? Then you go, instead of socialist, you go to the C word, right? She's further left. She's considered further left than Bernie. This is, and you know, they're looking at, when Nancy Pelosi does the 25th Amendment, she's doing it for Biden. You do know that, right? Because they want to get Biden out, and that won't be hard. But at this very moment, Biden's website includes a pledge to mandate net zero carbon emissions, which means fossil fuel, coal, everything is gone, and it's gone soon, okay? And with that goes our economy, and with that goes our country. The Democrat Party hates fracking, they hate coal, they hate clean, beautiful coal. I see what they do with coal now. They hate domestic energy production. And Biden will shut you down. He wants to shut you down just like your governor's got you shut down right now. They better open up your state. Did you see the World Health Organization yesterday? They said Trump was right. They said you can't make the cure worse than the problem itself. I've been saying that for a long time. And we did the right thing. We saved 2 million lives. They said 2.2 million people. We saved 2 million lives, and you know, we get nothing here in the history of your place. It's a history of. If you look at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, you never want to say state. Don't ever say state. Actually, nobody cares but them. But you know, I'm just saying. Let's say Pennsylvania. You got two of them. You know that, right? The Commonwealth, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I went to school here. Probably spend more time here than Sleepy Joe, in all fairness. I went to school here. But we're putting our great coal miners back to work. Joe Biden and the Democrat socialists will kill your jobs, dismantle your police departments. You see that happening. And we've got, did you see in the debate the other night, I said to him, name one law enforcement agency, just one, in the whole country that supports you. He couldn't do it. Then Chris Wallace bailed him out. Then I say, how come you got the 3.5 million from Russia? And they bailed him out again. He was choking like a dog. They bailed him out. But they want to dissolve your borders. They don't want borders. They want to have open borders, release criminal aliens, raise your taxes, confiscate your guns, get rid of your Second Amendment. I mean, here's one that's incredible. Destroy your suburbs. Okay, so they talk about the suburban women. And somebody said, I don't know if the suburban woman likes you. I say, why? But we had this... I love you too. They said they may not like the way you talk, but I'm about law and order. I'm about having you safe. I want to build low-income housing next to your house, okay, if that's okay. And I ended the regulation, the rule that made the zoning so impossible that you had to destroy your communities. And then I hear the suburban woman. I think that the suburban woman And I used to say, suburban housewife, I used to take heat, but I said, does anybody care? Do you care if I say suburban? No, they're all going, no. And you're going to live the American dream, and that's what you're going to do. And remember this, 29% of the people experiencing the American dream in the suburbs happen to be minority. And you don't know that. But 29%, and we're doing this for everybody. We're not doing it one way or the other. We're doing it. And I ended it. They said, sir, we can amend it. I said, no, I don't want to amend it. I want to end it. It was a horror show. And this loser, Cory Booker, is the guy that's going to be in charge of the program. The guy's a stone cold loser. 1%. He got 1%. He ran. He was going to be great. 1%. Every week. He was like her. Down, down, down. They should have picked him. But no, he'll be in charge of your suburban. So can I ask you to do me a favor? Suburban women, will you please like me? Remember? Please. Please. I saved your damn neighborhood, okay? The other thing, I don't have that much time to be that nice. I can do it, but I got to go quickly. We don't have time. They want me to be politically correct. Oh, yes, let's discuss it. Let's talk about it over the next 10 years. No, no, no. Now, Serbia, I've been reading about it for a long time. It's been going on for a long time. It became much worse under Obama and Biden. I got rid of it, and I had a choice. Even my own people said, you never get rid of it. See, 2%. They said, what the hell happened with the women? Except this time, see, this is much easier. Because then I was a developer. I was doing great. Everything was nice, but I had never done this before. I came in. I said, I'm going to rebuild our military. I'm going to cut your taxes. I'm going to cut your regulations. I'm going to get you this. I'm going to get you that. I'm going to take care of our vets. I mean, I did things that, frankly, I never even talked about, like Space Force. I never talked about Space Force. The wall is almost built. The wall is up to 392 miles. It's almost built. And Mexico is paying for the wall, by the way. You know that. I've been saying it. They hate to hear that, but they're paying. We're putting a charge on where the cars go through. And it'll more than pay for the wall. But we have now the most secure southern border that we've ever had.
Amen.
And I want to thank the president of Mexico. They have 27,000 Mexican soldiers on our southern border stopping people from coming into the U.S. illegally. Thank you very much. No, but we did all these things. So this time, in theory, it should be easier. But don't forget, I've gone through years of a fake witch hunt. And now it turned out that they were the guilty party. They were the ones dealing with Russia. They were the guilty people. Think if I didn't have every night on that fake CNN right over there with the light on.
The big CNN over there.
Every time I point to them, the light goes off. It's all right. Keep it off. Nobody's watching them anyway. But think if I didn't have every night Russia, hey. And nobody's been tougher in Russia than me. What I've done for NATO.
That's right. CNN are fake news. They are full of devil.
That weren't paying their bills. They were delinquent, as we said.
Hate the station.
In the Supreme Court.
Yep.
Elections have consequences. Winning and losing an election, that's big consequences. And we've been winning elections. And they say, well, Trump shouldn't be appointing the new justice because, well, I'm president. In fact, a lot of your great justices said, no, they're appointed. Justice Ginsburg just said recently, not so long ago, no, he's president for 4 years, not for 3 years. You appoint. Now, she was referring to Obama, I think, or Clinton or somebody, but wasn't referring to me, I can promise you. At your Second Amendment, you can forget about guns, empower violent mobs, and shield deadly criminals and terrorists. To defend our Constitution from this madness, I proudly nominated Judge Amy Coney Barrett of the United States Supreme Court and to the court. She'll be a great justice of the United States Supreme Court. She's done so well. I really found it fascinating today. I don't have too much time. I tried to watch as much as I could. She was great. The radical left is hell-bent on destroying everything we love and cherish. They're enraged and unhinged, and they are going crazy. Think of it.
They are destroying all the monument. My goodness.
I will have by the end of the first term almost 300 federal judges and 3 Supreme Court justices. Their heads are exploding. I hope they're happy. They want to cancel you, shame you, and persecute you. That's what they want to do. They want to shame and this whole cancel culture thing, you know. Now they're after Abraham Lincoln. They don't like Abraham Lincoln. No, he wasn't too good, was he? I said this 3 years ago. Remember when they took down a couple of statues of people you never heard of, a Confederate soldier, somebody else, somebody? I said, oh, really? The next will be Robert E. Lee. The next will be Abraham Lincoln. The next will be George Washington, and everybody laughed. They said, oh, the president is so funny. I said, I'm not being funny. These people are sick. These people, they want to take away your heritage. And by the way, are there any Italians in the room? Okay. Well, we are protecting the legacy of Christopher Columbus, okay? You know, the Italians are tough. I love the Italians. So they were going to rip down the statue of Christopher Columbus in New York. You saw that, right? And all of a sudden, a group of Italians circled around the statue, and they were having pretty tough things in their hand, I must say. And it was amazing how those people that wanted to rip it down disappeared very quickly. So the Italians, let me tell you, Christopher Columbus will always be here on my watch, that I can tell you. Now, I had people the other day, they wanted to wish me happy Columbus Day. They were afraid. I said, why are you ashamed? No, say it. Happy Christopher Columbus Day. This is Christopher Columbus Day. It's Columbus Day. Okay? So Italians say, thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. I like you too. I love the Italians. They want to punish the middle class, expunge every last trace of traditional values, and replace the American dream with the socialist nightmare. And that's what would happen. Just take a look at what's going on in other parts of the world. Biden's agenda, not that he has one, but, you know, he does whatever they tell him. Cut your Social Security, right? Now Biden is pledging mass amnesty and federal health care for the illegal aliens, decimating Medicare, and destroying your Social Security. Biden cares more about illegal aliens than he cares about your senior citizens, and it's true. And let me just tell you this, and I say it strongly, and when I first got elected, they always played the Social Security card, and nothing happened, right? Your Social Security now is better than ever. I haven't touched it. While I am president, no one will touch your Medicare or your Social Security. How about the stock market? Who has 401ks in the audience, right? Well, I can tell you one thing, I'm getting all of your votes. I'm getting your votes. Your 401ks are setting records. Think of it, as we're rounding the turn, and we are. They go crazy when I say we're rounding the turn on the pandemic. We understand that, hey, I just had it. Here I am, you know, it's me. It's actually me. And I could have stayed in the basement of the White House or maybe the top floor of the White House. I could have done that, but I'm the president of the United States. I can't do that. I got to get out, and I have to meet people, and I have to see people, and I know it's risky to do that. But you have to do what you have to do. You know, I'm the president. I can't sit in the basement and say, let's wait this thing out. I'm not going to do that. And now I'm immune, they tell me. I'm immune. I could come down and start kissing everybody. I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Not with a lot of enjoyment, but that's okay. Joe Biden would terminate our recovery, delay the vaccine, prolong the pandemic, and annihilate the economy with draconian, unscientific lockdowns like you're having right now in Pennsylvania with this governor who is killing you. Tom Wolf. Come on, Tom. Open up Pennsylvania, Tom. Open it up. You know what's going to happen. November 4th, they'll open it up. You know that. They're doing it. They want to keep the numbers.